Hello, you are welcome to Seed Matters. My name is Ebi Carlo Obo. This is a platform where we discuss everything about something and something about everything in special education and disabilities. Today on Seed Matters, we'll be talking about learning disabilities. What is learning disabilities? As a matter of fact, this video is titled Demystifying Learning Disabilities. And the implication is this: there is something that is mysterious about learning disabilities. Mind you, this concept, learning disability, is also called learning disorders in some quarters and specific learning disabilities. In every regular school, in every regular classroom, you would have discovered that there are some kids that do not perform well despite quality instruction. They will just not perform well. And most times, these kids have average and sometimes above average intelligence. To the extent the teachers and even their parents will be looking at them as if this guy or this kid is not serious. Sometimes they'll be looking at them as if, oh, you know what you're doing. It's just that you are lazy. Sometimes they will even say that they are stubborn because these kids have average and sometimes above average intelligence. They can crack jokes, they can be very funny, they participate well in regular settings. But when they come to school, they start performing below expectation. As a matter of fact, their observable potential and intelligence is remarkably, significantly above their academic achievement. Or to state it differently, their academic achievement is significantly below their observable intelligence, their observable and even measurable potential. And that is where the problem lies. The teacher will be like, this kid is intelligent, but I don't know why he's not reading. He doesn't just want to read. Also, their parents will be saying, whoa, do you say my kid cannot read, cannot do simple calculations? He's very intelligent. At home, he does this, he does that. Yes, in most cases, learning disability is not identified at home. That is why parents find it difficult to believe that their kid that is performing very well at home is not performing very well in the school. Learning disability is identified in the school system, in the classroom, because it has to do with the inability of the kid to read, to write, to spell, to do simple calculations. So it is instructive to note that not every student without obvious disabilities are actually without disabilities, because kids with learning disabilities cannot be easily identified outside the teaching and learning settings. Outside, they are the regular kids. They do well. Actually, they are found most of the times in the regular classroom with different labels as stubborn kids, as students who are not serious, as lazy kids. Learning disability is a heterogeneous disability that does not affect any two kids the same way. Some people are affected in reading. Some people are affected in comprehension of what is read. Some people are affected in calculations, anything maths, anything numbers. Some people are affected in writing. And in some cases, some of these kids combine some of these factors. So why is learning disability a mystery that needs to be demystified? It is a mystery because most parents and regular teachers do not see any reason why a child or a student with average intelligence or above average intelligence should be struggling with reading, spelling, writing, or simple calculations. So, learning disability is when students fall remarkably below expectations based on observed and measured intellectual potential. The heterogeneous nature of learning disabilities has led to it being described as a group of disabilities, even to the extent of saying specific learning disabilities. And the reason is because children or students are affected differently on the continuum of mild, severe, and profound. So, based on this continuum, it could be in reading, in writing, in listening, in spelling, in comprehension, or in calculation, mathematics. The confounding issue with learning disability that makes it mysterious is the sharp, significant discrepancy between a student's level of achievement and observable potential. How will a student that is funny, humorous, intelligent outside the class be finding it difficult to do 2 plus 2? It is mysterious to the regular teachers, to some parents. I am here to demystify it, to tell you why it is happening, to tell you the reason behind the below average performance of students who do not have obvious disabilities. Learning disability, as the name implies, is a disability in learning. It is a disability in the processes involved in learning. That is why it always manifests itself in the classroom, not outside the classroom. So, because it is a disability in learning, it arises from a neurological difference in children. As a matter of fact, in the community, you can't easily say this person has learning disability or does not. And it doesn't stop them from performing age-appropriate activities in the community. But when they come into the classroom, that is when they are noticed. So learning disability is a neurological difference that affects students' understanding and remembering of information. And it manifests itself in inability to write or write well, read or read well, and do simple calculations. There are different types of learning disabilities, but generally, these different types affect different areas of reading, areas of writing, areas of speaking, areas of spelling, areas of reasoning, and areas of calculation. So these different areas are categorized into different types. That is when we'll be talking about dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. Today, we are not going to talk about types of learning disabilities. Watch out for the next video on types of learning disabilities. Today, basically, we're going to be demystifying learning disabilities. And like I said, learning disabilities is a mystery to parents and teachers because it is difficult for teachers and parents to understand why an average student or an above average student is finding simple mathematics difficult, is finding spelling difficult, is finding reading difficult. So it is a sharp discrepancy, a gap between observable potential, what they should do, and achievement, actual achievement, what they can do. So that gap is what is creating the mystery. So far, I want you to understand something. Learning disability is not intellectual disabilities. Learning disability is a disability in learning. It is a significant difficulty in acquiring learning skills. Learning skills like reading, writing, spelling, reasoning, comprehension, and mathematical operation. And this significant difficulty in acquiring learning skills cannot be explained because these students or these kids have average intelligence, but they are performing below expectations. Learning disability is a heterogeneous group of disorders, meaning it is a family or cluster of disabilities, not just one disability. Learning disability is intrinsic to the individual. It is not extrinsic, it means it is from within. It is not from outside the student. For example, children are born with learning disabilities. It is not as a result of poor instruction. It is not as a result of missed opportunity. It is not as a result of cultural background. It is not as a result of other extraneous factors like other disabilities of hearing impairment, visual impairment, intellectual disabilities. No. Learning disability, in most cases, is an exclusion process. Exclusion process in the sense that you have to say, okay, the kid is not hearing impaired, the kid is not visually impaired, the kid is not intellectually disabled, the kid is not from a culturally disadvantaged setting. So when we exclude all these things, that is when we can say, okay, this kid is most likely having a learning disabilities. And please remember this. Learning disabilities can only be diagnosed by professionals. Because a kid is having difficulty in reading does not mean the kid is having learning disabilities. There could be other factors like poor teaching, like language background, like cultural background. There could be other factors. So we have to rule out all these other extraneous factors to pinpoint if it is learning disability or not. But then as a parent, as a regular teacher, you can make referrals when you discover things are not going the way they should go. When students or children are performing significantly below average in comparison to their average or above average intelligence, you can make referrals so that professionals can come together and carry out evaluation of the kid or the student to ensure to rule out the possibility of learning disability or to ascertain the presence of learning disabilities. There is no harm in being safe. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. So that is why you can make referrals when you suspect that a kid is not doing so well as compared to observable potential. Learning disability can occur with other disabilities, but learning disability is not due to other disabilities. Learning disability occurs when a child with average intelligence or above average intelligence, as measured by intelligence test, performs significantly below expectation or experiences undue difficulty in reading, writing, spelling, and simple calculations, even with quality instruction. Learning disability is a significant gap between what is which is learning achievement, and what should be, which is learning potential. And mind you, this learning potential could be based on intelligence test. It could be based on observation from parents, from teachers, or from people that have interacted with the kid. So in most cases, these are intelligent people making intelligent assumptions. But you know, life is not fair. That is why sometimes what you think should be is not what actually is. That is why you see students who are regular without obvious disabilities having learning disabilities. Lest I forget, this is Seed Matters. Please subscribe and click the notification button so that you'll get more videos on special education and disability matters. We have been able to highlight that learning disability is not intellectual disability. It is actually a disability in learning that does not manifest itself until the child gets to the school age. So please, parents, teachers, counselors, when you suspect that a child has learning disabilities, it is not enough for you to conclude. You can make referrals so that the child will be diagnosed, the child will be evaluated, and it will be substantiated. Thank you for watching Seed Matters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please click the notification button so that our next video on types of learning disabilities, causes of learning disabilities, management of learning disabilities will get to you. Once again, my name is Ebi Kalowo on Seed Matters.